Okay, this PowerPoint is about simple sentences, how to make good simple sentences. There are a few key terms you will need to know in order to understand what I'm saying here. First one is subject. The subject is what the sentence is about, either the thing or the person. Essentially, it's the noun of the sentence. Verb is the action word of the sentence. What is the person or thing doing? And clause. Clause is a group of words with a subject and a verb. Essentially, clause is another word for a sentence, but we cannot use it interchangeably because a simple sentence might be one clause, but a compound sentence is two clauses. So you got to think of a clause as a group of words that have a subject and a verb. There are independent clauses, which are strong, standalone. That means that an independent clause can be one complete sentence by itself. A dependent clause still has a subject and a verb, but it is not a complete thought. So it can't be alone as a sentence. Alright, this is all about adding variety in your sentences when you write. The idea is if you continually write simple sentences or the same kind of sentence, the writing is boring. It doesn't paint a picture in the reader's head. And remember, the purpose of writing is to paint a good picture in somebody's head. So you want to make your writing more interesting by adding different types of sentences. Not just long sentences, but different types of sentences. Okay, so let's look at two examples here. Here's the first one that does not have a lot of variety. I love living in the city. I have a wonderful view of the entire city. I have an apartment. I can see the Golden Gate Bridge. I can see many cargo ships pass under the bridge each day. I like the restaurants in San Francisco. I can find wonderful food from just about every country. I don't like the traffic in the city. Now, grammatically, there's nothing wrong with this paragraph. It is technically correct grammar, but there's not a lot of variety, and it is very uninteresting. Now, when we edit the paragraph, it looks like this. I love living in the city of San Francisco. I have a wonderful view of the entire city from my apartment window. In addition, I can see the Golden Gate Bridge under which many cargo ships pass each day. I also like San Francisco because I can find wonderful restaurants with food from just about every country. However, I don't like the traffic in the city. So as you see in the second paragraph, no information was added. The only thing that was added were conjunctions, some modifiers here and there maybe, but essentially it's saying the same thing. It's just painting a better mental image with sentence variety there. So I'm going to talk about the simple sentence. A simple sentence is one independent clause. So it's this clause that can stand by itself. I live in San Francisco. That is a simple sentence. It's an independent clause. Your subject is I, and live is your verb. Simple enough. Uninteresting, but simple. Although a simple sentence cannot have a dependent clause, it can have modifiers. And what modifiers are adjectives, adverbs, and little phrases to clarify what the subject and or the verb is. So for example, the tall student sitting in the back of my algebra class yawned loudly. Tall, sitting in the back in my algebra class, and loudly are modifiers. It's explaining what kind of student and where the student was and what the yawn was like. The simple basic sentence is the student yawned. Okay? A simple sentence contains only one independent clause, but it can have more than one subject and one verb. Okay? So the student and his friend yawned. It's still a simple sentence. It's just two subjects. Or the student yawned and fell asleep. One subject, two verbs, but still a simple sentence. Okay, there it is in red again. Okay, a sentence with all these elements will be long, but it is still simple because it contains only one independent clause. That's the idea. It's all about how many clauses you have. So the tall student sitting in the back of my physics class and his friend yawned loudly and fell asleep. So what is the real sentence, and what are the modifiers? The student and his friend yawned and fell asleep. That is the simple sentence. Tall, sitting in the back of my physics class, and loudly are your minds.